Hello, everyone. Welcome to this season premiere of my new episode. I'm hosting a talk show and it's called The Confidence Corner. And I'm super excited to host this because I get to speak to everyone from all over the world, from all walks of life, to see how they use the online world to help other people. So I'm very, very excited about this because it's something that has really helped me, to kind of get out of my comfort zone as well. So with this being said, I'm super excited to introduce my first episode, having this episode being the first one. Hi, Nicole. How are you? Welcome to the Confidence Corner. Before I let my guest come on, I really want to tell you that Veronica is a hypnotist and a transformational mindset coach. And I'm very interested in terms of how it works and how she helps people. So that's why I was very intrigued when she said she was a hypnotist, and I was like, yes, just my kind of person. So I'm excited. I'm going to get Veronica on the call and we're going to be asking her a series of questions to get to know her, how she helps people, and how we can use this platform to let more people know what is it that she's doing and how she can help you better yourself and become the best person that you can be. So without further ado, I'm going to have Miss Veronica come on. And yes. Veronica. Hello.
Hello. It's great to be here, Rosemary. Thank you for having me here.
Hi, Veronica. How are you? Thank you so much for being episode 1 of my Confidence Corner platform. This is basically to educate and let people know what it is that you do. So the floor is yours. I'm going to ask you to please tell me about yourself. What is it that you do? And yes, let's start.
Awesome. So I'm a transformational mindset coach and I'm a hypnotist as well. So I've kind of got interested in coaching a long time ago. So that was something I was doing for a while, helping quite a lot of people. And then I was listening to a lot of hypnosis recordings for different things, like for procrastination, for self-sabotage, and a lot of different things. So I noticed how much difference it made in my life. So how much it helped me over a period of time. And a few people suggested to me actually last year, like, oh, why don't you get a hypnosis certification? And I always thought, myself that it was difficult, that I would never be able to do that.
Hmm.
And one of the ladies in one of my classes who I knew, she was teaching the class. So I basically signed up the day that she was starting the program. And I was like, I'm just going to do it, so because I was so excited. And so that's what I started doing.
That's fantastic. I love the way that, you kind of also just played with it. Should I, shouldn't I? And then you just went for it. So I
Right.
admire that about a woman like you and people in general who are scared to do something and then they just go for it because, there's always some kind of fear that's holding them back. So kudos to you. Very good. Good job. So, Veronica, tell me a little bit about what routines you follow daily. Like how does your day start and what is it that you do daily?
Right. So I think the routines are so important. And for a long time, it was hard for me to actually, I was like always so like consider myself so disorganized. So having the routines was a hard thing. But now I find that actually having the routines is pretty easy. And like last week I was thinking about it because I was dog sitting for a friend of mine who has, well, like now she had only like 9 dogs there, but usually she has
Only
10.
9?
And I thought like, a few years ago, there was like no way I could like even be able to do that, keep track of all the dogs and doing everything else. But it's like what really, like helps me with that is just like having the routines, whether it's my morning routines or taking care of the dogs. Like once you have the routines, it makes it so much easier. And for me, my morning routines is when I wake up, it's usually starting with the meditation. And it's funny because my dog totally knows the routine. So he's always, Mr. Nippy's always like really excited.
I
So
love
sometimes some mornings, even I forget about it, like I'm like my mind is like already racing to go to the next thing. Sometimes like my dog just comes and he sits where he's supposed to sit for the meditation. And he will like, if we meditate on the couch, he will just come over, like he will just jump on the couch and just come and sit in my lap.
Oh my gosh, so he gets it now. So I think you've
He
all,
gets it
yeah.
because he senses the energy because it's like the relaxing energy, the calm energy. So he feels, that's good energy to be around. He's a very Zen boy, so he doesn't like any loud movies or like any loud like music or anything else. He just likes very like Zen environments. So, and then I usually like listen to the like a hypnosis recording, maybe something I'm working on. And after that, probably just doing some other routines like oil pulling. I don't know if you know what it is, but
No,
coconut oil. It's supposed to be like very healthy for the immune system, for your gums, for like a lot of different things. It's just you swishing coconut oil in your mouth for like probably like 15 minutes. So it's yeah, if you Google it, it's very healthy.
I should try that. I've got coconut oil at home. I should try.
Right. Yeah. Just make sure that it's not that it's like usually they say unrefined because refined you use for cooking. So it's just like organic virgin, extra virgin coconut oil. So
Okay, I'm going to try that and I'm going to get back to you. And how long do you do? So you do it for 15 minutes
it's like
for,
10, 15 minutes, right? Some people find it like difficult, even like swishing in their mouth. Like I don't. I find it, pretty easy, but I
and then
think it's probably a habit as well.
do you swallow or do you spit after?
No, no, no. You have to spit it, but not in the
Oh,
just
wait,
not just
swallow.
not in the sink because you don't, like the coconut oil hardens kind of when it gets, cooler temperatures,
That
right? So you just don't want to be like stuck somewhere in the sink, so it's like in the trash can. So
so I probably do it wrong. It would absolutely.
right, and then I do like usually either water with the apple cider vinegar or like with 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar or lemon water. So
Oh,
that's usually my routine. And then after that, I do something else, maybe have a smoothie or some oatmeal or something else. Yes.
fantastic. That's a very healthy, mindful kind of routine. That's really
Right.
a
And
couple.
few days a week, I also try to do the bike. You can probably see the bike behind me, so I try to do that also a few
That's
days a week as
good.
well.
I think if I had one bike, I'd probably just look at it instead of get on.
Right. It's easy, right? For a while, I was just like hanging things on it, so it was
Hanging clothes,
just
socks.
like right. It was like right, like hanging all your clothes and everything else. So that was like easier to do that once you have it next to you.
I know. And now I'm glad that you're actually getting on it as opposed to, just dropping your.
Right. And I think it's also right, like working out in anywhere. I think it's also so good for your brain, whether it's just going for a walk, just change of scenery, or I love going to the beach or being in nature. Like yesterday, I went for like maybe a few hour walk in the woods with some friends. So that was really nice because it just clears your mind being in nature and it's more grounding for like I think like most of us needed these days, right? I think people are just so busy with social media, doing this, doing that on the computers. So it's just it helps you to get out of your head.
I think so too. I use nature as well as like a form to just bring me back to earth. I think,
Beautiful.
you know,
Yes. I think it's helpful.
yes, yeah,
And cold showers, which I started doing a while back. It takes little while to get used to it, and cold plunges. So I've gone, I think like I haven't been since I went New Year's Day. I think I was like, I managed to stay in the water, which is like, like I'm outside of Boston for 10 minutes. And I never used to be even able to go in the water in the summer, in this area. So your body kind of just gets more adjusted to it. And I feel like even now outside when I take my dog for like a short walk, like I don't need to put like 10 layers of clothes, which I used to do before. Like my body is more adjusted to cold weather. So
I think if I have to do the cold showers, just throw me in a cold pool. Like it's just got to be like that absolute shock. Rip the band-aid and throw me in the pool. Don't like I can't do the whole shower thing. Like No, because I know
Right, but
what I,
it's like so you can slowly, right? But you can adjust it. It's like to me, it was like a slow process, just
oh,
like lowering the temperature. But I know some people when I would go for cold plunges, some people it's their first time. They just go in the water and they just like rip the band-aid, just go for it, right? Some people are just so good with that.
exactly. This is exactly what I will do. That's really interesting. The whole coconut oil. I'm definitely going to try that. So, tell me, how do you use the online space to basically help your clientele or others that perhaps want to know or don't know? Tell me a little bit about how is it that you get your reach, and how is it that you do online consultations? Do you meet them personally? Walk me around. What is it? What?
Right. Well, I think the beauty of everything is not now most people are comfortable with doing everything online. So I don't think I would even want to have my own office. I think it's just like too much, getting out of the way. And I find it's so much easier to do everything from home because people don't have to be, the clients don't have to be where I am and we don't have to be in the same space. It's easy to do it on, we do everything on Zoom because when I do the consultation or when I do the session. So my sessions are more like I call them it's hypno coaching because it's a big part of it just to see to get to the root cause of like what's happening in their lives, what's happening. And once we go through the root cause and see like their beliefs and blocks that are preventing them from getting to their next level, we do like hypnosis then. And we also create empowering beliefs based on the blocks and limiting beliefs they have to reframe them. So something that is unique for them, something that applies to them, because so many people just sit and just say like, like random affirmations. But the thing with affirmations, which I'm a big fan of the law of attraction as well, like a lot of times they don't like work because the person inside doesn't believe what they say. They just say, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. But if they have deep down, they have a poor mindset. If they were like pre-programmed by their parents or their environment, like, or, all our beliefs usually created by the age of like like the age of 7 or so, right? So it's like whatever your parents tell you, like, well, we're not making, the money doesn't go in trees. We will never be rich like those people. Or like in
Or,
my family,
or the best one is we don't shit money. That
that's great. So I don't know what happened in your family,
yeah,
Rosemary.
that was, we don't shit money. So that's something that.
That's funny. That's the first time I'm hearing
Oh,
that.
no ways. Yeah. I was brought up quite in a special environment. But yes, I always remember, and I actually I say it to my little girl as well. I'm like, I don't shit money, but it's not
Oh,
like
I see. Like, but that's funny. How old is your little girl?
she's 9,
Wow. So what's her name?
Sally.
Sally? Oh, beautiful name.
And
So,
she's
but you know how you're already reprogramming Sally for failure in the future because she'll grow up and she'll be telling her kids we don't shit money.
that's fine as long as she works for it, makes honest money,
Right,
doesn't.
but then it will be honest money. But like, what's honest money, right? So she will be growing up thinking that she doesn't deserve the money or she can never make enough because that will be her mindset.
Wow, that's
It's very,
damn. That's insane. You kind of just woke me up there, Veronica.
you might have to talk to Sally again.
Yeah. Yeah,
Explain to her things,
I,
right? How things
I,
work.
I don't have a very healthy relationship with money. I think it's also like with different people, they have a lot of like the relationship with money is very it's a hard topic, for some people to talk
It
about.
is for most
And
people. Yeah.
it, so for me, I'm very like cutthroat. I don't like I'm very like not gangster, but like I say it
I love it.
like say it as it is. White is white and black is black. I'm not afraid to say it, and I kind of, there is truth to what you're saying for sure. Sally might also grow up and think that maybe she might not deserve it, but then, it's a difficult kind of thing to maneuver, especially when you're trying to program your kids. So
Right. And it's just,
tough,
I think
tough.
it's most people don't even realize they say things, maybe because, right? Because that's how you grew up. That's what was happening in your family. So those are your beliefs that you're passed down the generations. So that's kind of something, because they'll grow up with the same beliefs.
Yeah.
They grew up, and then whatever they do, so like your whole life revolves around your beliefs. Like what
Mhm.
you believe, like money, like we don't shed money. So like it's almost like saying like, right? So we don't have money. So it's continuing, like no matter what you do, it's programming yourself like, well, I'm not really going to have money because we're not those kind of people who have the money. So it's like whatever they do, people will be either done, even if they make money, they probably be either spending money or not investing it or not taking good care of it. So it just can go like many levels deep around that. So it's being very conscious about not how like we think, but also what we program other people around. If you have a partner, if you have siblings, right, or your parents, you go back, you say the same thing to them, or like your children as well.
Yes, it's so powerful. Oh my gosh. I think like we're having a hypno session here. But yes, it's really powerful. And I must admit, it is definitely, you're right on the spot. Like with me, I'm extremely cutthroat. I'm a very, I don't know, I wouldn't say different parent. I love my daughter to bits. I work
I'm sure.
well with my girl, and nothing can touch her. Nothing will touch her. Very protective mom, considering the background that I've had, to keep her and to fight for her. So it was quite intense. So yes, it's always that protective layer. But in terms of my relationship with money, there was a point in my life where I had it all, and I preferred not to. So I don't know if it's right to say that I enjoy the struggle because I appreciate the money more. Like when I work for it, I have
Right.
money, and I appreciate that more. And even Sally can see, mom works hard. And even with what she says, like she would say, Mom, here's €1, go buy yourself a cup of coffee.
Ah, how sweet.
Yes, you deserve it. You work so hard. She's very like, like mindful, I think. I definitely think she's going to be a better version of me. 100%. 110% going to be a better version of me.
Well, she
100.
doesn't have to be a better version of you, right? She'll be her own version, and you're the best version of yourself, right? So that's
Yes, I must get that whole thing that I know that she doesn't belong to me. She belongs to her own kind of future, whatever comes. So it's kind of like I have to get prepared for that. But yes, if we'll,
right.
when we'll definitely have a one-on-one soon, where if when you understand the backstory, you'll know why I am
Right.
not on
I'm sure, but that's the thing. I think a lot of times, when I work with people, people come for one thing. They'll be like, "Oh, I just want to be in positive vibration. I just want to be happy," or something else. But once we start digging, deep down to see what's going on, uh, it becomes like it's a lot of trauma with a lot of people, right? And a lot of times people are not even like really aware of it, how all those things are connected and how like it's all in different pieces. So like a lot of times my sessions, like my first session is usually probably sometimes 2.5 or 3 hours between, just coaching and hypnosis, because I let people go on their own journeys. So it doesn't have to be, like go in chronological order, like this happened, and just go on. But a lot of times it's just, you'll be talking about your present, but then you'll go into your childhood, like we're talking now about the money, something like what your parents thought. Then it
it.
might be a topic of your daughter. That might be something else. So a lot of times it's just like unrelated events, but they might have like common threads in them, something that is going through your life in different ways, right? So, which is, I think it's important to understand and understanding what the beliefs are and what the blocks are,
Mhm.
because it's a lot of times we just walk around with all the beliefs that were programmed into us by our parents, our society, our schools. And that makes it difficult because, it's kind of like when we have like blinders, like your horse. I don't know if you've ever been in New York, but I always give that example that the horses like going around Central Park, right? They have the blinders.
I
They
got
really, because they have the eyes on their sides, right?
Yeah, tunnel
And
vision.
they don't want them to get scared by what's going on around them. So like a lot of times we just all walk around with like we literally see like a little bit. So we don't really see what's happening around us. And we don't even want to see it because we're not even aware that we have the blinders,
And
right? So it's discovering what blinders we have, and we all do. That's why like most of the coaches, as you know, like work with coaches as well,
yeah,
because it really helps to see our blind spots, like what things that we're not seeing, because we can just keep going on and on saying the same things over and over, and we can catch it easily with other people because they can, like, right when we hear other people talking, we just get it right away. It's like, well, that's BS, that's a story, that's a story. But we're like, oh, like have so many of our own stories. So like one of my mentors would say, it's like peeling the layers of the onion, right? So it's not necessarily they'll be gone right away, but you just go deeper and deeper with what you have.
exactly. Oh, that's brilliant. Wow, you're very wise, Veronica.
Thank you.
You're very wise. I want to ask you, what do you think is the hardest part of your job?
I think the hardest part is, I think, meeting people or seeing people that you know you can help, but a lot of people are probably not ready to help themselves or not interested, or they think they might be interested,
Hmm.
but they're not, right? They may be not ready to open their minds. And that's why they say it's different. You know, like people just generally need different amount of time for their, like, you know, if you take several people, some people make progress like pretty fast, some people make progress slower.
Hmm.
But I think it's a lot of times, uh, I look at people, you know, do people have a growth mindset or fixed mindset? Because even of a lot of times people, if you ask any person, like, do you have a fixed, like, growth mindset or fixed mindset? Most people will probably tell you that they have, you know, growth mindset, right?
Hmm.
But they're just not open to new things. They're not open to hearing things, and they don't want to look at themselves, right? So they
The hard,
would rather criticize everybody around them. Everybody is doing something wrong, their partner, this, the person, that person. But it's ultimately looking at ourselves and, like, how do we, like, you know, if we have the same situations with many people around us, right? If we get in arguments with a lot of people and everything else, it's like questioning yourself. Is it a problem with everybody around us? Or maybe there's a problem somewhere with us?
hmm. Yes, exactly. I think a lot of people don't want to take that step, and then they mention that they have the growth mindset, but then they don't want to take that first step. And then,
Right. And it can be hard, right? So it's being aware of that and realizing that if you want to change, it's having that desire to look at yourself and take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility. And the other big thing is commitment, right? Is being committed to change versus being committed to not having a change, right? So it's like, what are we committed in life?
yes, and
And
we're
who do we want to be in the process? Like our identity, which is a big part of it as well, is who do we want to be in the process?
no, for sure.
Because a lot of times, if we're operating like we were talking about the wealth mindset and everything else, but we're operating through from the identity of a person who is not wealthy or a person who cannot be wealthy, right? So all our actions uh, and
Yeah.
everything revolve around that area, right? So there will be, like, all the actions will be according to your identity, right? So if you're identified with someone who is not wealthy, like everything you do will be coming from that perspective.
Exactly. And yeah, it must be tough to get people to kind of like see that they need help, but that they don't want to sign up for the help. They don't want to.
Right. And sometimes it's slow, and it's just letting people be and meeting people where they are. Some people, you know, are open and maybe it will just like a slower process for them. And some people are not very open. You know, they might be curious, and that's okay. It's just meeting people where they are and just knowing that we can help the right people always.
Exactly. Fantastic. So, I would like to ask you one more question. And
Sure.
so, you're an online entrepreneur. So tell me, how have you grown personally with your journey in terms of coming onto the online space, and how have you grown personally?
I've grown a lot because I realized that I need a lot of different skills. Even like recently, I was in like the mastermind where I was, and it's just learning even how to do like the online presentation, like using Canva, using, right, on just being able to present something. And now we're getting in the space of, even I started I was doing one podcast yesterday, and I did a few more other podcasts also being more visible, showing up as a guest, so starting to like show up and more online. So I think there is a lot of growth, and a lot of times I feel people would say, oh, I don't know XYZ, but I think with entrepreneurs, it's learning that entrepreneurs wear just so many hats, right? It's like if you have a job, I remember having a job and it was, it's just one department in the company, right? So like then you have sales, marketing, IT department and everything else. When you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur, everything is on you. So you either start outsourcing things, or like whether you get a VA for like certain maybe tasks or helping you more, but it's just a growth process with like if you need to do automations and things like that. So I'm kind of just at this stage where I'm just starting to do that and getting people to do it for me, because I tried it myself for a long time, then I just realized, you know what, I'm just not going to do it myself. Like it will waste a lot of my time and it's not really worth it. I would rather have someone else who knows what they're doing, because they'll be a lot faster at it.
Exactly, and you'll see more results. So yes, you've grown in terms of coming out. So look at the slide, you're coming out, you're presenting what it is that you do, how you help people. So that's a very good milestone that you've reached.
Right, definitely, yes.
You're going into podcasts, getting yourself. I was also in that, space of what are people going to think? And oh my God, like what is she doing? And I'm like, you know what? I don't give, like, I can't care.
And you're great. You seem like you're great and you're an awesome host. So you will be great on your podcast for sure.
So much. And to end this, I want to just ask, I know I said one more question, but I'm enjoying it so much.
No, just keep asking. I'm
Um,
totally fine.
what motivates you every day? What?
I think the thing that motivates me the most is having a why, knowing that I can help people to transform their lives, transform their mindset,
Mhm.
and help them to be better at what they do and overcome the challenges. Because I think pretty much most people have some areas, whether you're just a beginner entrepreneur or you're more like advanced level, everybody else have their level of where they start feeling, whether it's scared or fear of failure, fear of success. And a lot of people, coming from full-time jobs, it's a very different mindset as well for entrepreneurs, as you know, right? It's like when you work for someone else, it's a job, right? You get paid every 2 weeks. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't really get paid. And, like you have to be okay with that. You're not getting paychecks every week or every 2 weeks. Everything is, you're responsible for everything, right? So, like so many entrepreneurs, I think having a tougher time than when you just have a full-time job, just with their mindset, right? Staying consistent, because you're not showing up. Nobody's checking what you're doing. It's all by yourself. So one of the things I also wanted to mention is working with other people for entrepreneurs. I know being hard, but I think what helps me also a lot is working, using, I don't know if you've heard of it. There are groups like caveday.com, which you show up and people for accountability can work in a group together. It's like a monthly subscription. But another one that I've started doing like a little while back, it's called Focus Mate. I think it's either $5 or $10 a month now. It used to be $5, but it might be higher. But you basically can be just sign up for a session of 25, 50 minutes or 75 minutes.
Mhm.
And you basically, they match you up randomly online with another person So say you and I, match on this service, right? So like I say I want to work for 75 minutes and you happen to want to work for 75 minutes at the same time. And it's people all over the world. So
Okay.
in the beginning of the session, we'll just tell each other what we're going to work on. So, like maybe I want to, create a presentation or something else. And then you're committed to sit on the screen usually, right? So that you do the work rather than you get up, go eat or do,
That's amazing.
like,
That's
which is really awesome. Yeah. Like I've recommended it to so many people because I know a lot of entrepreneurs, it's hard to say, like, not to start procrastinating. Like I know we were talking about, procrastination and everything else, but it really helps you in the seat, it's just sit in front of your computer and just do what you need to do because you don't want to be spending that time. Also, you're not supposed to be on social media. You're supposed to do what you say you're going to do.
exactly.
And at the end of the session, you just come back to the person and you tell them what you did or didn't do.
Wow. That's amazing. That's a really good accountability like platform.
It is totally, yes.
So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, sharing all of that from your side. And then I'm also going to be sharing some of your links so that people could get hold of you and
Awesome.
sharing what it is that you do. So, Veronica, I'm going to say thank you so much for your time. It's been an amazing half an hour. I'm so grateful that you decided to come and do this with me. And it's amazing, like the way you think, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. I must say, it was fantastic. You kind of put me on the spot there a little bit, but that was really good, and I'm very grateful for it. And I'm definitely going to be more wise with my words. And yes, I just wanted to say thank you. And if there's anything else you'd like to close off with, I'd be.
Well, thank you so much, Rosemary. It was great being here with you. And I think that's really also helpful for people when, like you just do some, kind of like catch you even like on the spot or something else rather than us just having a conversation, right? But it's just realizing that we all have, like, we just say things without even thinking, right?
But it's good
Because,
because you put me on my toes, and I like that. I like when people
right,
put me on my toes and make me think and like, okay, now I've got to be careful with what I'm saying because I've got a little baby or I've got a girl, and she's watching my every move, so I've got to be mindful with what I'm saying.
right.
So,
And that's right, exactly. Especially like, right, if you have a child, like questioning like how many other things you might be saying, without even obviously thinking about it, right? It's just a habit or something came from your parents or something came from the school, right? That it's just something got reprogrammed in us. So I think that's very powerful. So thank you so much for having me here. It was awesome.
all right, so I want to just take a quick picture for social media a lot of purposes.
Awesome.
Very good. And I just want to say thank you once again. And we definitely, if you want to come back or you want to do a follow-up episode, I will definitely love to have you back. So
Absolutely. Would love that.
have a beautiful Sunday, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much, Rosemary. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.